as we cultivate that receptivity, that non-judgment, that non-resistance, that non-violence. So receiving everything that arises in my consciousness in this moment with a quality of plain, pure observation. So we can actually get to a point, it isn't even a matter of saying good things about our meditation. So we may be familiar with saying bad things, those judgmental things, but even the good things that we say, those are also a kind of a judgment. And you know how we, I had a great meditation. And I'm not saying don't say this. I get it. It's wonderful to have a great meditation. I had a horrible meditation. I get it. But let's go a little further with it. And imagine just having a meditation that it is whatever it is. So we're not trying to get somewhere. Imagine living a life where we're not trying to get anything from life, and we're just fully being. The way we prepare these meditations is we select a topic some weeks in advance so that we can get it into the newsletter, and then we select one of Swami Premananda's prayers, and then we meditate on that topic. So this topic today is being a light unto the world. And I wish I could share with you all the places that I've gone beyond anything I could have possibly imagined. And so, as is my desire, my intention, my very purpose, is that each of us can know the fullness and the completeness of what it means for you to be a light unto the world, and how that is for you to discover that for you. Happy to share with you any things that have helped me to discover that light and to be that light. So happy to share that. But what really matters, there's nothing so powerful as one's own realization of these truths. And there's a bit of a paradox for me in this practice, in these teachings, because I am not one to tell anyone what to believe. So we have these belief systems that we have constructed, and we have these views of the world and of life that we've had these whole array of experiences, some in our personal lives, some that perhaps our parents or family members had in their lives, and then they help us to inform, what's real, what's right, what's good, what's wrong, all of that. And so we construct a reality. And so the last thing I'm interested in is providing a new belief to add to the accumulation of beliefs. And so I find it much more useful for all of us to provide for one another a place for us to actually discover those beliefs, those foundational notions that we have, those things that we know are true and right and we're certain of. And maybe it's helpful to look at those, and so we've constructed a reality, and we do that individually, we do that in our families, we do that in our communities, we do that in our spiritual community, we do that in our state community, and our national community, and our world community. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful time to be on the planet. And actually, it's always been this time on the planet, wherever we are on the planet, in whichever community that we find ourselves, is to simply sit in stillness. Imagine just sitting in stillness, without resistance, without judgment, without condemnation of any sort, and simply being present to whatever comes into our awareness. And what will come in, if we will take the time to be still and to be quiet, we can use a meditative technique to help to focus the mind, to concentrate the mind, gain a bit of stillness, and then be in a place of observation. It's a curious thing to me that whatever it is we have done collectively to disseminate some notion of what it means to meditate, like I think kind of the standard thing is to meditate is to have a still mind. And I just can't tell you how many people, and you've probably met them, and maybe you're one, and I have been one in the past, of feeling such a defeat and such a frustration and such a sense of failure at what meditation is, because we have some notion of that we're supposed to have a quiet mind. And so we have, we call it the monkey mind. And what's so helpful about a practice of meditation is that if we will sit quietly enough, pay attention, then what happens is we reveal ourselves to ourselves. And so as that reveals ourselves, let's just take the mind, the monkey mind. Well, what's that frustration? Even that defeatedness, even that giving up, I can't meditate. I give up. I can't do this. Interesting. So what's being revealed to ourselves about ourselves with regard to our meditation is that we have some notion or some expectation. We're trying to make ourselves fit into something somebody told us. But interesting, see that giving up, that's a revealing of ourselves to ourselves. Oh, I give up when I feel like there's an expectation that I'm not meeting. So rather than give us another one of those, is that thou shalt, you must have this belief system. For me, another alternative, and there are infinite ways to know God, because every expression, every manifestation is simply an expression of God. It's a manifestation of the divine, whatever you want to call that. And so every one of those has the possibility of revealing us a path to that. So it's even not a matter of telling anybody which path to take.
Hi, I'm Porna, and I'm a karma yogi at Awake Yoga Meditation. We love to share the teachings of yoga philosophy. It's love, it's inspiration, it's peace, and this piece is for everybody. So if you like what you see, like, share, and subscribe. Spread that joy, y'all.
Now, imagine. So we have these human relationships. Imagine being a absolutely non-judgmental, non-resisting spaciousness, a receptivity, and where we can find that place is in our hearts and with love and what it means to love. And then if we will sit with ourselves with such compassion and understanding and wisdom that whatever comes into our consciousness, can we get big enough to include that, to not resist, to not have a violent reaction to it. And as we can do that, so I find this wonderful co-joining, if you will, of this inner journey and our outer journey. And so as we cultivate that receptivity, that non-judgment, that non-resistance, that non-violence. So receiving everything that arises in my consciousness in this moment with a quality of plain, pure observation, So we can actually get to a point, it isn't even a matter of saying good things about our meditation. So we may be familiar with saying bad things, those judgmental things, but even the good things that we say, those are also a kind of a judgment. And you know how we, I had a great meditation. And I'm not saying don't say this. I get it. It's wonderful to have a great meditation. I had a horrible meditation. I get it. But let's go a little further with it. And imagine just having a meditation that it is whatever it is. So we're not trying to get somewhere. Imagine living a life where we're not trying to get anything from life, and we're just fully being. So, I'll share. So being this light. So imagine in our relationships with one another. And so I've been a ridiculously joyful participant in this community for a number of years, a wonderful time. And the thing that I was overfilled, like I actually didn't even have I had almost a limited ability to receive so much love. And what love avails us of is an expansiveness, is moving beyond anything that we may have ever been able to imagine was possible for in our lives. And then it's even more expansive and more expansive. The point is that that's what love offers. Judgment, criticism does not tend to avail us or call forth that kind of a willingness to be vulnerable enough to tear down the walls that we've built to protect ourselves. And as we tear down those walls, then we avail ourselves of more and more of that love. So that love can be expressed, and my experience has been expressed immeasurably by, for those of us who knew Swami Shankarananda, and for those of us who know Srimati Shanti. And then for me, all of the people who just loved me, and there are many of those people here now who we've just shared a love. And then what that can give us is an expanded capacity to share our love with others, and to expand beyond the boundaries of those who we may have been capable of or willing to love, to express love to, beyond anything that anyone has ever done, beyond likes or dislikes, beyond blame or affirmation, beyond anything, for no reason, to just sit with another human being in an exchanging and a sharing for no reason, for no expectation. I mean, so why does somebody do something like that? Because it feels so good, because what it makes possible is we as humankind living together on this planet. We have, as humans have evolved, there was this point where we became aware and where we became self-aware. And along with that self-awareness came a sense of other. And so the very possibility of other came as like, oh, I am aware, and then I am aware of myself as an other. And how I see it is we didn't have the wisdom to recognize that we're falling into an error of seeing any sense of other. And this self-awareness was an extraordinary thing. And so that, I think of that as kind of an infant in evolution, in coming into awareness and having forgotten. So having forgotten, and if we look at the history of humankind, it just seems to me that it's replete with us forgetting that that's my brother over there, that that's my sister, that we are one, and there is an other. And there is the whole even sense that there is an other, in a very, very limited sense, there is another. In a very, very limited sense, I'm in this body over here, you're in that body over there, and there's some distance, but in a much more important, much more significant way, there is no other. And so how can we move? Let's be honest about where we are in our shared experience of life. And so these teachings, which have been available for tens of thousands of years, that are helping us to reclaim or to remember that, no, there is no other. And I think of the word of polarity and of a positive and a negative. And actually, I thought, I don't know much about motors and engines, but I think that how a motor works is magnets and polarity, different charges that cause them to spin. And so I was just thinking about that spinning motor and being in the center of all of that movement, all of that polarity, all of those, the whole world of opposites. And so how can we together find the stillness that is in the center of all polarities? So what I have experienced from others is those who have loved me and looked, and it's not about me, it's about all of us, but certainly we can experience it personally, right? That those who have loved me no matter what, whether I did a good thing or a bad thing, whether I did the right thing or the wrong thing, but there are those who have just loved, and that's what true love is for no reason, no matter what. So, in our relationships, we can consciously say, how about if you and I make this pact? Let's you and I decide to do this together. That no matter what you ever do, I will never stop loving you. Imagine having that relation. Well, that was my relationship with Swami Shankarananda. That was my relationship with individuals, and that I've had the gift of knowing that have just loved me or loved no matter what. So, and then what that creates is an expanded possibility for the expression, for the realization of our oneness. So where I do that is I imagine at the heart, and I have adored when Swami Nityananda initiated, and many of you will remember, like she initiated this thing with, at the end of the surface, and imagining an altar of light. And then on that altar of light, imagine placing all the blessings of the meditation. And then she said, and if you want to see yourself climbing up onto that altar of light. So another way that resonates for me is constituting myself as an altar of light, so that, good, bad, indifferent, right, wrong, neutral, no matter what, can I be in our relationships. Now, where all of that is relevant is in the relationships that we have with one another. That's I would say, let's just start there. In our community, in our meditation community. And as this community grows, let us grow in our unwavering love for one another, no matter what anybody has said or done to us, to another. And are we willing? Are we willing to let go of absolutely anything that anyone has ever done that we're holding on to? And what we do when we hold on to that is we block the natural expression, the natural pouring forth of that love through our hearts, and that being an altar of light, so that no matter what touches it, as Swami has said, light becomes light. When anything touches light, it becomes light. So that's an offering, an invitation for all of us. And I find it helpful to consciously do that with one another. And there's an aspect of it that I just want to point to and acknowledge that, but it's difficult, or even I can't do that. I mean, I look at all the things I've done, people will even give you all their reasons why not. So similarly, even when someone, people will try really, really hard to convince you who they are afraid they are, or who they think they might be, and that's kind of something that we do together, is we try to convince, no, you don't really know. If you really knew, so even when, and listen, there are plenty of people in the world who are experiencing such a feeling of loss and separation from community, from the divine, from one another, from their families. It's like, yes, right there. One at a time, we can stand together, and then the thing that's so, I have a question that I live into regularly, and it's an unanswerable question, but it's a question to live into. And that is there anything I am not willing to let go of that would keep me from knowing the truth? Is there anything that I'm not willing to let go of that would keep me from the knowing of the truth of life? Not the truth not a belief system, not the truth that anybody's told you, not anything that anybody's told you should do or you should believe, but the truth that is within us. So what we do is we provide a place. We provide a place where each of us can, as the image of the mud settling, just letting the mud settle. And even if you try to convince me, if anybody tries to convince me who they think they are, or who they believe they are, or who they're afraid that they are, that we together, as we encounter and meet absolutely everyone, is, bowing and honoring, respecting, not trying to fix, not trying to change, but providing a place for that being, for all beings, to discover the light of their life. And then when people get the opportunity to love the way they would love to be loved, the way they would love to love, then everything changes. And then how we meet all of the circumstances, all the conditions, all the other people, all the problems, everything, it totally transformed. And then we keep going, because we do this in our individual relationships. Yes, we do that. And then, it creates a spaciousness and an opening that actually is already here, when we express, when we manifest, when we share our light, where we share our love with one another. But the spaciousness is not caused by our loving. The spaciousness, the expansiveness that we avail, that we access ourselves to, is the natural state. That is our natural state. And we've simply blocked it. We've simply stopped. So, is there anything that we can only ask for ourselves? Is there anything that I am unwilling to let go of that keeps me from the knowing of our love, our oneness, our friendship, our intimacy, our devotion, our joy, our peace, our happiness, our sharing of our love with all beings, with one another, with these magnificent, sweet personal relationships, and then beyond the beyond. Amen.